From Sydney to Hamilton, find your way on the Great Miami Riverway.
We're very proud to have the summit here this year. We're very proud of our city. We look forward to showing it off to everybody. I'm really excited to have people tour our parks. We have over 600 acres of parks in Sydney. In Chihuahua Park is over 250 acres. In Chihuahua Park last year we had a new pavilion that was built, donated by a gentleman who grew up here in honor of his grandfather, called Binkley Pavilion. That is the stop right before you go up the hill to Big Rock. So if you're in Chihuahua Park, you would perhaps visit Big Rock. There's a lot of history there.
True, because families are struggling, and the fact that they can take their family down by the river and pile into a canoe and paddle and enjoy an afternoon looking at the beautiful views that the river offers. The other very simple, free way of doing something at the river would be to take a picnic lunch and enjoy the riverfront that way as well.
We are urban. I mean, we're the largest city in Butler County, the second largest city in the tri-state, but we got this vibe, we got this feel going on in our city right now. And it's thanks to our great city team, but also it's great because we realize the importance of the river. Instead of ignoring what the river has, let's put great places to go to for our citizens and for our visitors as well.
We have so many great projects going on in downtown Miamisburg right now. The Hutchins Station is just one of those, and it's our big golden egg. We know it's going to be a great thing, but we just don't know what yet. And people are always asking me when. It's coming. I just say in the future. It's a huge project like that doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a year. But it is going to happen, and it is going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be statewide recognized.
Now we're to the point where you're going to see, starting this year, Main Street's going to be ripped up. It's going to be turned into a two-way street with all new streetscaping. We're developing into the riverfront. We're working with property acquisition and current property owners to make sure to protect their property rights, but at the same time looking at how we're developing the riverfront. That's all been occurring, and now you're going to start seeing it this year.
I actually went from living on a farm to living on the river, and it is a wonderful lifestyle. It's a nice transition. So being able to repurpose these second and third floors and building new development is critical to the workforce development needs that we need in our county.
Dayton and our region for years have turned our back on the rivers, and that was because of the Great Flood. So think about that, 1913, all these years, and you can look at buildings downtown and they're not front facing to the river. And so several years ago we said, let's change that. Not just the county, but we as a community said, what can we do to change that? So we're so excited, and it's not just in Montgomery County. You can look at from Shelby County on down.
We need something to stimulate the city of West Carrollton, and this is going to be the thing that's going to happen. We got the new exit 47 back 5-6 years ago, and we thought something would happen soon after that, but it didn't, mainly because Austin Road was developed, so we were kind of put on the back burner. So now things are moving forward, and we've got the development that the Roberts Plaza used to be at, and then with the river project, things are looking good.
So Middletown has a renewed focus on the revitalization of our historic downtown Middletown and creating a red carpet between the Great Miami Riverway and our downtown. We see increased recreation along our Riverway, especially with the signage. It has really helped people be able to find their way to the Great Miami Riverway. And then we've found that a lot of people are wanting to live closer to the riverfront and our downtown.
With the great float down the Miami River this summer, we probably had 114 participants, and they ranged with kayaks, canoes, rowboats, and what would happen is they would bring their boats up here to West Carrollton, drop them off, and then they would drive to Miamisburg, park in the municipal lot down there, get on a school bus, and ride back to West Carrollton, and they put their boats in the water and float to Miamisburg, and then when they got down there, they had supper, then they loaded their boats in their cars and went home. But it was a successful event. Not only did it benefit West Carrollton, but it benefited Miamisburg and the whole region. We had people from down in Cincinnati come up to participate in this.
The river is so close to our downtown that it just becomes a natural place for people to gather into for events and activities. And it just brings people into the downtown, but when people are in downtown, it takes them to the river. Our tents, Float Troy, is such a huge part of it right now, that's been kind of the surprise of the last 5 years, is our tent program. We started that, and it's like you really don't know how it's going to go, and boy, it has just taken off. We have people come from all over the country to spend the night in our tents.
Another wonderful thing that happened last year in the city of Sydney. The city of Sydney owned the Ohio building, and that's been transferred to a development group, Woodrey, and they are looking forward to renovating that facility in downtown Sydney, and we're very, very happy about that and excited about what that means. And again, another connection to the Riverway. It's not very far from downtown Sydney to the river. There's a lot of connection there, so we're excited about that.
We do have many developing residential communities, and we have many established communities. So there's a large variety of housing to choose from if you come into Trenton looking for a place to live. We do have a developing industrial park that has Shape Corporation, or Magnode, which is the oldest employer in the city of Trenton. Just recently finished a $40 million, 350,000 square foot capital investment in phase 2 of our industrial park. So we're excited to get that up and running and get them fully employed.
It's really exciting to see people bicycling between Middletown and Franklin. I see it every day I drive down the road, and now it's not that we're connected only by automobiles, but now people can actually use their own 2 legs to get from one city to another. And it's also the thought that we'll be connected to Hamilton in the future with the bike trail. I know it's a lot of work, a lot of money, and a lot of energy from a lot of people, but that connection is invaluable.
Several people have asked me, look, what's going to happen down at the riverfront? Well, right now we're working on a project called the Lock 9 project, and it's nearing completion. And that Lock 9 is located right in the center of our business district along the Great Miami River. And it also is a crossroads for the Ohio recreational trails, as well as the heart of our 8-mile linear bike path. It also is going to be evolving into what I would call a centerfold of our city, where we can offer all kinds of events, such as our 4th of July celebrations, and we do a fall harvest festival. We also will be able to offer all things recreational, and that takes you right back to the river and the water itself.
I think it's a catalyst. Everything is working off of each other. Not only, the river project, is important, but then the people that are going to go into the development across the street, it's important to them too. And then we also have condominiums and apartments going to be built along the river too.
With the addition of Semcor coming into town and the 1,200 jobs in their first phase, it has really driven the need for more residential housing. And we're very excited because there's a subdivision called Baroque that is on the north end of town that is brand new housing for sale that is being built right now as we speak. There's additional apartments being built and renovated. There's a lot of emphasis on redeveloping properties that have sort of fallen into disrepair. There's a lot of pride in that, and our community and our staff is working with owners to make sure that we give people homes.
If it wouldn't have been for the Great Miami River, the bike path, and the investments that building owners have put in downtown, that wouldn't have happened. I'm the mayor, but I also happen to own the building next door to Bullwinkle's. I just added on to it, put 2 new apartments with balconies that overlook the river. And so firsthand, I know what it's like to be a mayor, but I also know what it's like to really think about spending some money downtown, and do I do it or don't I do it? And everyone that owns a shop in Miamisburg or a building, they just have the greatest confidence that whatever monies they put back into the city, they're going to get back in feel-good rewards, and it's going to pay off.
It attracts a lot of people to our community, and it feeds our tourism. It feeds an absolute great place to live and raise your children. So it's part of that connectivity that is so viable to a good, vibrant, healthy community.
We have a lot of new housing developments going in Middletown. We have a very exciting development that we're working on the east end by the interstate. It's a multi-use sports complex, residential, entertainment, and hotel. And so it will complement Spooky Nook. Hopefully going to have some ice hockey rinks is the plan. So we will be bringing visitors in from around the country and around the world to that location. Probably going to bring some of them in to live and stay.
In our case, one thing that we have is the Spooky Nook at Champion Mill Sports Complex. That's 650,000 square feet of courts and turf, but it's also a business conference and a convention center. So we're getting people from all over the place coming to Spooky Nook now. That's one of the proud accomplishments that we have for 2022, going into a full year of 2023, where there's going to be thousands of people using that facility, tens of thousands of people using that facility, not just for sports, but for weddings, for conventions, for statewide conventions. They're coming to Hamilton, Ohio for these statewide conventions, and they did not do that before. It's because we have a facility, Spooky Nook, which is an incredible facility for so many reasons.
Yeah, the energy in downtown has really bloomed since we've had added restaurants downtown. We've had a new Italian restaurant open up, Tavolo's, which is a restaurant on the corner. It was renovated out of an old bank. We have a new coffee shop in downtown called Greenhouse Coffee. That's a wonderful place. It's always busy. We still have the Bridge Restaurant under new management, and they're expanding, which is fabulous, in downtown, right across from the theater. And we have Emilio's, which is a wonderful restaurant in downtown. Great pizza. If you haven't been to Emilio's, you need to go to Emilio's. And the standard, of course, is the Spot Restaurant. You have to go to the Spot and have pop. I like their soup. Actually, there isn't anything on the menu I don't like. And then right across from there is the beautiful Louis Sullivan Bank building. I mean, it's a gem.
The Troy Strawberry Festival is always the first full weekend in June, and last year, after COVID, we were back in full force with that, and it was an amazing, amazing weekend. We had GOBA visit Troy, the Great Ohio Bike Adventure. They were in Troy for 3 nights. They spent 3 nights in Troy, and that was an amazing event. We have in August, we have the Tour de Donut. The more donuts you eat, the better your time is on your race. So it's kind of a misnomer that donuts and biking goes together, but it's a huge event and it's a lot of fun.
Because it brings thousands of folks in to do this crazy thing called riding a bike and eating donuts and being competitive over it. So it is a great asset to the county, especially the city of Troy. The amount of folks that come into that for multiple days is fantastic. The amount of business that it generates is substantial for the economy.
The river is integral into not just the past, the present, but also the future of Middletown. We know that people want to be outdoors. They want to enjoy their environment. It's not just what's between the 4 walls that they live in. And so the Riverway is absolutely critical. It also just connects people, and connections with people, as we've realized during COVID are absolutely critical to our mental health.
We feel that energy coming off the river. We're seeing more kayaks in the river. Of course, the tents bring people to the river, but we're seeing more kayaks and canoeing. We also are working on a removal of the low dam, which the intent is that it will bring more recreational opportunities. Right now, the low dam kind of restricts that. It'll change the river, bring it back to what it was originally, but we're looking forward to that. It will run clearer, run deeper, and we're looking to expand our rec trail on the south side of the river. So, which will bring just more opportunities for people to get out and explore.
We've got a beautiful bike trail and a bike path that we walk. The addition of the Pat and Tom Robinson Reserve out on the north of Duke Park. We participate and walk on that multiple nights per week. So it's just a nice connectivity. We can go downtown and have a lovely meal at one of our local restaurants. And it's just a nice walkable downtown atmosphere.
So we'll actually have lights strung over top of Main Street. And it's going to be a really special environment. We have the food truck park downtown now. So we're kind of creating a new habit of going downtown to eat. We have always had a staple restaurant downtown that people were used to going to. We're now opening other restaurants. Now we have a food truck park to change those habits, to get people going downtown, because with all this new development downtown along the river, we're going to have a lot of major new restaurants, rooftop bars.
It's been great to see all the jurisdictions along the river really working together, and they call it the Riverway Coalition. And each jurisdiction has really taken an interest in it, whether it's through some funding or just being a part of the project. And it's exciting, and that I don't think would have happened without us as Southwest Ohio embracing the rivers.
We're seeing some reutilization of land as well. We have some developers that are looking at 2 lots. One is at the corner of Water Street and Spring. The other one is at the old Bennett Junior High lot. Both of these lots overlook the Great Miami River. And the developers are going to offer housing, and that will be in the form of townhouses or condominiums. These housing projects will overlook the beautiful river and will be within a couple of blocks of the downtown district.
We see a need and a want to live along the Riverway. Along with our younger generations moving into the community, our young professionals, they want to be on the river, so we're going to provide options.
You have 3 locations in Miami County on the Miami Riverway, where you can literally have breakfast, lunch, and dinner all within a 20-25 mile bike ride.
Trenton is transforming from a bedroom community to the younger generations that come in. They want amenities, and they want all the activities that you can have. So with the river being a kayaking destination, fishing destination, just a river sport destination, or water sport destination, they will look to us for affordable housing and for residents now.
Connecting our communities through the Riverway and actually through our Parks District and the bike path that we have in Sydney. We've taken the bike path in Sydney as far as we can, and Shelby County, I know, are working really hard to connect now Sydney to Piqua. And that'll be another example of how we work together. I think that all the communities want that connection, and I look forward to seeing that happen.
In fact, with the City of Hamilton, we kicked back into gear our Hamilton Middletown Task Force. And so I met with the mayor and vice mayor in Hamilton along with the council member. And every time we met, interestingly enough, we had a view of the Great Miami River. So in both of our cities, we know that those are the hot spots to go and enjoy each other and also find camaraderie in the Great Miami Riverway.
If it wasn't for the river, we wouldn't have what we have going on in Hamilton right now. You wouldn't, because there wouldn't be a former Champion paper mill, which has been repurposed into Spokey Nook at Champion Mill. Do we still make a lot of things in Hamilton? Yes, we do. But now some of those buildings that used to make things, some of them have been repurposed into destination locations. And Spiking Nook's just one example, but there are many, many other examples. But the common thread is, through our great times in Hamilton, Ohio, the river was important. And during a great time, which I think we're in right now in Hamilton, I know we're in a great time right now in Hamilton, the river's a big part of it as well.
Through the initiative that the Riverway is doing, the Riverway organization through the MCD, not only that you have a wonderful website, but also a great marketing program that is just not on a regional basis, but also a national basis that will attract folks to come to our community, possibly put down roots in the Miami Valley along the Riverway and really enjoy what the good quality of life can entail.
I'm Dan Foley, Director of the Great Miami Riverway, inviting you to find your way on the Great Miami Riverway.